Everybody travels, but I'm different. I'm Josh Ogilvie, and I travel with Getaway. To me, Getaway is about getting lost and finding myself. This time, Getaway takes you to Milan and Parma. And here's what we've got for you. The Duomo, Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, Fashion Landmark 10 Corso Como, Triennale Design Museum, the Parco Ducale, the Culatello and the Parmigiano-Reggiano cheese, and much more. So what are you waiting for? Get away with Getaway. Milan is nestled in the Alpine valleys of northern Italy, and it's one of Europe's most recognizable cities. In recent times, Italy's northern capital has established itself as a city of culture, high fashion, and cutting-edge design. Milan's imposing Gothic Duomo is a must-see for the tourists. It is the third largest church in the world after St. Peter's in the Vatican and after the Cathedral of Seville. Its exterior is constructed completely of marble and features immense statues, arches, pillars, and pinnacles. The highest pinnacle towers 108 meters above the streets below, and at its top is a gold-covered statue of the Virgin Mary casting her gaze across the city.
Milan's enduring symbol towers above the city centre. Now this sublimely beautiful Duomo was commissioned in 1386 and is a frenzy of statues and spires that took nearly 500 years to complete.
The Duomo in Milan was initially built in the Gothic style, which has a heavy French influence. As construction stretched over many centuries, architects and engineers also incorporated a combination of classic and neo-Gothic styles, making this building a unique blend of different Gothic elements. But one of Duomo's most impressive visual elements isn't the design, rather the expansive views from its rooftops.
Now this view is particularly special because it's one of the few places in Milan that you can see the Italian Alps. Of course, if you cast your eyes a little lower, the streets below pulse with a ragazzi and a spending spree. But of course, a trip through the galleries below also rewards you with shards of history nestled among the designer handbags and Campari sodas.
Duomo is surrounded by some of Italy's best shopping. The galleries below are some of the finest in Europe, and none are more impressive than Europe Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II, a shopping arcade covered by an arching glass and cast iron roof. This street is Milan's most luxurious and it is home to every major name in the fashion industry. In the centre of the Galleria is a curious distraction for die-hard shoppers. A close look to the ground reveals a mosaic of a bull and a most interesting tradition.
Now, if you're walking through Galleria Vittorio Emanuele, make sure you take the time out to grind your feet, because apparently for some reason it's a form of good luck. Heading away from the Duomo, if you walk through Galleria Vittorio Emanuele, you get to Piazza della Scala, and it's named this way because just off to my left here is La Scala, one of the most legendary opera houses in the world. And I'm told no trip to Milan is complete without a visit here, but not because of the passing act, because the real entertainment happens during the intervals when you stand there with a glass of champagne and play Spot the Mistress. Now, speaking of spotting things, also just in front of me here is a very famous statue. You might have heard of him, Leonardo da Vinci. There's art everywhere you look.
Now, Milan's culture runs a lot deeper than cathedrals and clothing, so I set off to uncover some of the hidden treasures.
Just a short ride on the metro to Stazione Garibaldi brings you to this place, number 10 Corso Como, and it is an icon and an institution of style in this city. 10 Corso Como used to be a Renault garage, but in 1990 it was converted into this amazing oasis that we see now. It all started with a photographic gallery which was put up here 20 years ago, and it was dedicated to fashion photography. Now since then they've also opened a gorgeous fashion boutique, a restaurant which we can see here, a bookstore dedicated to all things style, and even a 3-room boutique hotel. Now seeing as Milan is the capital of fashion, I think we should check out the clothing store first.
Number 10 Corso Como is ground zero for haute couture. I met up with a friend of mine who is studying design here in Milan, and she told me a few secrets about what makes this place so special.
What I love about this place is that it houses some of the biggest names in fashion, yeah?
That's right. Prada, Stella McCartney, Alexander McQueen.
They're all here.
Yep, and they're all my favourites, but each item has been uniquely picked by Carla Sozzani, who founded this place.
Right, so we're talking all one-off pieces. So this would differ This would differ from the boutiques, like the Prada boutique back in Milan.
Absolutely.
Because here you're seeing the stuff which is
straight from the catwalk.
Straight from the catwalk, straight from the fashion shows.
That's right.
And I can see how, you know, coming to a place like this, you would feel very much at home, and this could, for a design student like you, really become your hangout.
Absolutely. You can spend the whole day here very easily.
Fantastic. Can you show us around upstairs and we'll have a look at the bookstore?
Absolutely, I'd love to.
Nice.
For art and design enthusiasts, the bookstore on the second floor sports a wide selection of the latest fashion, design, and limited edition publications. This store was described by the Wall Street Journal as unqualified magic. It really is the perfect setting to relax and lose an afternoon while immersing yourself in a Milanese melting pot of all things cutting edge and cool. Before you go, be in the know. Flights from Shanghai to Milan take 11 or 12 hours, and the time difference between the two cities is 6 hours. The Duomo is in the city centre of Milan. It's free to go inside, but it costs €5 to go to the rooftop. Galleria Vittorio Emanuele II is surrounded by some of Italy's best shopping. It takes about 15 minutes to trek to 10 Corso Como by the tram from Duomo. Coming up next on Getaway, what is this? Where am I? What am I going to do? So don't go away. Getaway will be right back after this. Getaway with Getaway.
There aren't too many cities left in the world with trams, but Milan is one of the few. Now, for mine, this is the best way of getting around the city. A single trip costs you about €1. If you want to travel around for the day, it's €3. And of course, you can use that ticket on the metro as well. Now, for most people, public transport is all about the destination, but on a tram like this, you can really appreciate the journey as well. I would certainly recommend this as a great way of getting to feel the city of Milan. Jump on one day with your ticket, ride it to the end of the line, see where it takes you, and see what you catch along the way.
We all know that Milan is the fashion capital of Italy, but one thing you might not know is it's also the design capital of this fabulous country. The unique exhibits at the Centennial Design Museum pay tribute to the most innovative and renowned designers in Italy.
Now, as we know, most museums are very protective of their exhibits, but here you're not only allowed to photograph the installations, at every opportunity you're encouraged to use them. Would you believe that this is a couch? Now, excuse me while I find my sunnies. And then try to get out of the thing. Help, please. Help. Graceful.
In this exhibition, form really takes priority over function. Nowhere was this more evident than with the furniture.
Now, one of the most curious pieces that I've seen here at the exhibit is this weird nest-like piece, and it's called La Cova. Now, it's made using recycled bits of coats, and what she wanted to do when building this one-off was hark back to the laborious and painstaking process that a bird has to go through when it's gathering straw to build its nest. This velvet-covered cushion of luxury is an interpretation of the starfish, and while it's fantastic in that you can fit 10 of your friends around it, the only problem is actually talking to them. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hi, Josh.
Hey, hi. It's quite bright.
Tickets for the Teneriale Design Museum are €8 each. We all know that Milan is a historical city, but the designers here show the brand new side of Italian culture. Now, man cannot exist on culture alone, so it was time to switch focus back to one of my favourite Italian pursuits: eating. Specialty stores like Peck here in Milan bring the very best of Italy's gastronomic creations into one fantastic place. Meats, cheeses, pasta and wine fight for your affection and all tantalise your taste buds. This really is like a candy store for adults. But if you want to enjoy these products from their source, you've got to take a short trip south of Milan to the city of Parma. This deliciously named city sits in the heart of Italy's food valley and is the next destination on my Italian adventure. Parma is the second largest city in Emilia-Romagna. The region is famous for its ham, its cheese, its architecture, and its fertile countryside. And it's in this quiet countryside that I uncover some mysteries as to why Italian produce is so damn good.
So ignore what's around me for just a minute, and when I say the word Italy, what's the first thing that comes to mind? You said food, didn't you? You see, few people would argue that Italy is the food capital of the world, and right now we're in the heart of Italy's food valley. So with that in mind, I think it's safe to say that this right here is the culinary epicenter of the universe.
Culatello is a refined and renowned variety of Italian ham. Made from a heavier breed of black pigs, it is cut to a fraction of normal ham and seriously aged. It's commonly served as a starter along with sweet melon or fresh figs.
Now, we have a piece just in front of us here. We've got 10 days of massaging before we wrap it, and then it does go downstairs to hang.
Yeah.
And you're saying it's hanging for 15 to 36 months, is that correct?
Yes, yes.
I noticed downstairs some of the culatello that was hanging had some very famous people's names next to them. Prince Charles, and another being Armani. Yes. Tell me a little, we're not just giving the pigs fancy names, these are actually for those people, aren't they?
Yes, we age for more or less 10 months and we send back to the Prince Charles.
So Prince Charles is sending his own black pigs over here to have these guys prepare them, age them, and then send them back. I think speaks volumes of the quality of the produce that's being produced here.
Do you want to try?
Try wrapping it or eating it?
Wrapping.
Wrapping it only, okay. Yeah, I'll give it a try, absolutely.
The trick for wrapping culatello is just to pull very hard and keep rolling. It takes a bit of effort to wrap, but more effort not to eat it.
So the purpose of this is to let the moisture come out of it while it's dehydrating, and you can see if you look closely there's already liquid just oozing out of the small holes that we're making.
If the culatello stand at the end, is a good culatello. If it don't stand,
So this is the test. If it stands up straight at the end, it's good culatello, and if it doesn't, I've just lost my job. So, stay.
sì.
Okay, it's good culatello?
Bene.
Just good.
After wrapping the culatello, I can't wait to try the finished product.
And here is the finished product, 20-month-old Culatello di Zibello. One of the main characteristics is the really rich sense of smell that you get with it, and texturally it's melt in your mouth good. You kind of get hints of a honey-style tobacco, and I can tell you it's worth every bit of the 2 or so years that it's spent waiting for this very moment.
On a recent visit here, French actor Gérard Depardieu described this place as the temple of the slow walk. And on the surface, there's not much happening here. But, as we now know, beneath my feet there are some 6,000 pieces of culatello, each purposefully and patiently aging their way to perfection. After leaving this peaceful rural farmland, it's time to finally check out the city of Parma. Before you go, be in the know. The unique exhibits at the Getaway Design Museum pay tribute to the most innovative and renowned designers in Italy. The ticket for Getaway Design Museum is €8 and it's open from 9 AM to 5:30 PM. Trains from Milan to Parma take about 1.5 hours and they live regularly throughout the day. Culatello is one of the world's finest hams. Keep an eye out for it when you're next treating yourself to a delicious meal at an Italian restaurant. Coming up next, where's this beautiful statue? Where am I? What is this? So don't go away. Getaway will be right back after this. Getaway with Getaway.
Right in the heart of Parma is this gorgeous garden oasis called Parco di Carlo. Now, Parco di Carlo is close to 500 years old and for many years was a private residence. Today it's open to the public and is very much a symbol of the style and culture of this wonderful city.
Hi Josh, lovely to meet you.
Well, this is one of the symbols of Parma. In 1545, the ducal family started building this as their summer residence.